Hello friends and welcome back to another episode of our Vintage Autumn DIY Journal series. So in today's video, I'm going to be adding some more elements to my own childhood memories journal that I have here. I want to add some more color to the cover with some fun stickers and some fabric that matches the spine. And I also want to do some mystery pulls to add some more elements to the inside of my journal. So before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure the little notifications bell is set to all so you receive all of my notifications. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I am doing is I am attaching these little cardstock squares that have like a perforated edge around them. You could just use like a stamp of some sort if you wanted, or you could use like a pinking shear to cut out some little squares. These squares happen to be little squares that I had. They were a little box, so I pulled the box apart, and so I'm just using the squares. And this is basically going to be a background to these other little vintage stamp stickers that I have. That you can see up in the top right hand corner of the video. But all I'm doing is I am gluing these little squares onto some extra fabric I have. This is the same fabric that I used in the spine of my journal. So I'm gonna just glue a bunch of these onto my fabric, making sure that I have like space in between each one of the squares because I want the fabric to kind of pop out behind the squares. Now these squares are basically just a base. You probably won't even see them, so you could use just regular cardstock if you wanted. But because the other stamps that I have are kind of lightweight and they are vintage, so they're a little bit brittle, I wanted to have a little bit harder of a backing for them to sit on. The next thing that I'm doing is I'm taking my Distress ink, and this ink is my Shabby Shutters. It's like a light green color, and I'm just distressing all of these vintage stamps. Now these are like sticker stamps. I think they came in a pack from like Scholastic. So it was like a school pack that a teacher would have gotten. I actually got a bunch of these from the Goodwill bins a while back, and so I wanted to use them. I love the colors. They're very retro feeling to me, and I wanted to use them in this journal because they just remind me of my childhood. So I'm just distressing up the edges just a little bit with this green coloring, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these stamps and I'm going to be gluing them to the squares that I glued down onto my fabric. Okay, so before I glue anything, I am taking my pinking shears and I'm going to cut these little fabric squares out of my fabric. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I want to leave some of that fabric visible on each one of the squares. So I'm just cutting around the squares with my pinking shears just to create like a cool little jagged edge. And I'm doing this for all of the squares that I'm using. I'm going to try to fit as many as I can on the front cover of my journal book. I just think it will be kind of a fun little element to add. So yeah, just cutting all of these little squares out, making sure that they're all fairly even. They don't have to be perfect, but I just want them fairly even so that you can see the fabric. Then using my Fabrifix glue again, I'm just going to glue these little vintage stamp stickers right to the top of the cardboard squares that I glued onto the fabric. So pretty simple, just like this. Now I'm creating these cute little, almost like sticker stamps that are going to go on the front of the book. And they're a little bit heavier feeling with almost like a little bit of a 3D effect because of the fabric. All right, so here they all are. As you can see, I have them all done. They came out so cute. I don't know, to me, these are just very 80s. All right, so now I'm just gonna lay them out on the cover of my book, kind of where I want them ahead of time, so that way I can see what looks good. I don't wanna cover up the print of the actual book, but I do wanna add these little pops of color on here just to make it a little bit more retro looking. So I think this looks good. I like this placement. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Fabrifix glue now and glue these little squares right down. All right, now that we have all of our squares glued down, I'm gonna take my mystery box here, my little mystery jar, and I'm gonna draw an element out of my jar to add to my journal. So let's see what I get. I'm gonna just pick something random. There's a bunch of different things in here. I probably have 50 different items. Book page envelope. All right, so let's make a book page envelope for this journal. I did make a few before, but I want to make one that's custom to this journal, so let's do that right now. So these are some of the book page envelopes. I made one in a previous live that we did, but I made a few of them. These are going to be some that will go out to people who pick this as an element in their surprise mystery picks for the mystery journal series. So I'm just going to set those aside, but I want to make a different one with this vintage book page as I have here. I do need to trim this book page down because it is a little uneven. So I am just using my paper trimmer. I'm just going to trim down the edges. This is very brittle, so I'm trying to be very careful not to tear this paper. I want to try to keep it intact as best as possible. I think it is a page from like a 1950s magazine or book that I had. But yeah, I just thought the coloring was really nice, and I thought the coloring would work really well in my journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this not quite in half, but I'm going to fold it leaving like a little flap at the top. This is just a really simple style envelope. I make these all the time. Just super simple. There's definitely other ways to do this, but this is probably the easiest way. And then I think I am going to put a little notch in just the top of what will be the front pocket, just so you can tell that it is a pocket there. I like to do that also. And then I will probably distress the edges just a little bit. We're going to fold that top flap right over the top, just like that. Now, you could use this as is. You could staple the sides, you could tape the sides, you could glue the sides, whatever you want. I think I'm going to staple the sides, but I'm just cutting off some angled edges on my the top flap, just like this, just to give it a little extra and to make it look like a flap. Again, you don't have to do that either. It's just something that I like to do. And like I said, I think I'm going to staple my edges on this one instead of taping it. So I'm just going to get my stapler and we'll just staple these edges right down really quickly. This is probably the easiest way to do it. Either that or like some washi tape or something you could do, but stapling works fine too. So I'm just going to put a couple of staples in those edges. So now we have a cute little book page envelope, which is very cute. So I have my cute little strawberry jug here with some stitched ruffle that I made. And I'm just going to pick out a ruffle from my little stash. I think I'm going to use this yellow one. And I'm just going to cut a little strip of this yellow ruffle. This yellow ruffle is also an element that I have in the mystery pick box or pick jar for when you get a mystery journal pick. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just cutting a little strip of this ruffle off, and then we're going to use that as a little trim on the bottom of our book page envelope. So again, I'm just trimming this up a little bit from when I stitched it. There's some strings that are hanging, but I'm going to just put this right at the bottom of my envelope like this, just to give it a little extra look. And I'll glue it down with my Fabrifix, and then we will put this envelope in my journal. So yeah, if you are looking for a quick, easy way to make a little element to go in a journal, this is one. You can use up a lot of scrap pages making these little envelopes. I've used up a lot of just plain book pages making these. So I am also going to add a few little vintage stickers to my envelope that I can use at a later point if I want. I kind of picked some stickers out of my stash that I liked, and I'm just going to stick those stickers right in this little envelope. And then let's see if we can find a place for this envelope to go in my journal. Now I'm thinking I want it right on the front cover, only because I thought I had wanted to put an envelope there in the first place. But yeah, let's put it right here. I think the colors will work well with the opposite pages. So I'm gonna just glue this envelope down to my front cover. Now I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm not gonna glue the entire envelope. I am gonna make a pocket out of this envelope as well, so I could stick a card or something down in behind the pocket. So I'm just going around the side edges and the bottom edge of my envelope with my Fabrifix, and I'm leaving the top open, so that way, like I said, I can put like a journal card or something in that top, like a slide it down like behind the back of my envelope. So as you can see, I'm going to take a little journal card that I have in the back of my book, and I'm going to just slide it down in behind my little envelope pocket here in the front, just so you can see that you can stick something down behind it as well as putting things in the pocket. So it'll be handy to have. I could, put random things in there if I want. But yeah, this was just a cute little element for my front page. I think it turned out really good. All right, so let's move on to another item. All right, so let's get our little mystery jar back out again, and let's see if we can pick another element to make for our journal. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? I'm trying to get a different one here this time. A mini bag of beads. Okay, so this is the little mini bag of beads, and there is lots of different colors in here, so lots of different options of things to make. I think I'm gonna make some little charm dangles that I can attach to the little fabric tabs on the inside of my journal. So in addition to the beads, I've kind of collected a few other little things. I've collected some jewelry findings. I have this cute little Mickey Mouse head bead that I might want to add. I have this cute little angel worry doll that I found at the Goodwill bins. I thought that would be really cute on a charm. So, and then I grabbed a couple other just like little things that I can probably use to make some charms. Now I have more items here as well, like charms and charm making things, because I usually like to have some sort of like a dangle or something when I am attaching charms. In addition to beads, I like to have some sort of a dangle. So I'm gonna just kind of look on here and see. Oh, there's a Minnie Mouse charm. I think I'm gonna use that one. I've been wanting to see if I could find something to use my Minnie Mouse charm, this little Minnie Mouse charm with. So I'm gonna maybe use her. And then this one also says, oh, that one says Virginia. And this is a little star. I have a bunch of really cute little charms. You could use really anything. I just whenever I see cute charms, I will collect them and put them in here. Or if it's on like a necklace or something, I'll take it apart and I'll save the little necklace piece. But I think for now, that's probably good because I don't want anything too big. I want to keep them fairly small on the tabs itself. You know what? I do have another little charm that would be cute too. I have these little teeny tiny pair of scissors. I think I'll use that one also. Okay, so we should have plenty of things here to make some charms. Now I also have my little needle nose pliers. I will try to link these in the description. I know I meant to do it the last time, one of my previous videos where I used them, and I think I forgot. So I will try to link them in this video. Really cute beads in this little bead kit. Every bead kit is going to be different. I just take an assortment of different colors and patterns and styles and throw them in a little kit like this or a little baggie like this. So you're going to have lots of options to make things with the little mini bag of beads. Okay, so let's start with a little pin. And these are those little jewelry finding pins. You can get kits like that include these little pins at the Dollar Tree. Dollar Tree has them. I think that's where I got these ones. So I'm just gonna put a little base on the bottom of that. If you can see, there's like a little flower base, and then we'll put a little bead on that base first. So let's do, what do I wanna do? I don't know, let's do, I don't think I want anything too big for this. Let's do a small little yellow bead. So there's my little yellow bead. And then for this one, I think I'm gonna do, I don't know if I want to do Mickey yet, or the Mickey head. I want to do maybe green. We'll do a little green. And then I think I'm gonna do a little jump ring. But before I put the jump ring on, I want to open it up and attach these little scissors. So let's put the little scissors on, and then we'll close up that jump ring. And we'll put the jump ring on there, like that, so it's a little dangle. And then we'll do another bead on top of that. So how about, maybe this one? Sure, that one looks cute. And then one more to top it off, little tiny one to top it off. All right, so that's cute. Got a little dangle like that. All right, so now we're gonna take our little mini pliers, our needle nose pliers, and we're gonna just bend at the top of our, I don't know if you can see that. We're gonna bend right at the top of our little hook that we're using. So just make a bend in it, and I'm bending it to one side, and then I'm gonna go out to the end in the opposite direction, and I'm gonna bend and make a loop. And I'm gonna turn that loop right back into itself so it makes a little hook, just like that. And then I just make sure that that little hook is pinched shut so that none of the beads can fall off. And then there's our little charm. That's very cute. Nice little colors on that, nothing fancy, just something cute. And then I'm gonna take one of my little bulb pins. You can use just a regular safety pin if you want, but I like to use these little bulb pins. And we'll put the little bulb pin on there like that. And then you could actually add a couple little beads to the bulb pin as well. So let's do a little blue bead. We'll put a blue one on there, and then maybe a yellow. Blue and a yellow. No, I don't like the blue and the yellow next to each other because they're like the same kind of beads. So I want to kind of keep it a little bit different. How about this one? This is a different color blue. Yeah, that one's pretty. Okay, so there is a little charm, and I'm gonna hook it right on to one of my scrap fabric pieces, like that. So now I have this cute little charm dangle that will hang off the edge of my little tab that's in my journal. I like when things hang and dangle off a journal. I don't know, for me it's like a texture thing. I like to play with things while I'm doing other things in the journal. So that is very cute. Okay, so there's just one idea. All right, so I want to also do, I want to use this little angel worry doll. Let's open her up. And I always find little things like this at the Goodwill bins. I just think this is so cute. All right, so it looks like she is tied on here. So let me get some scissors and just untie her. There we go. All right, so there she is right there. Now she doesn't have any type of hook or anything on her, so I'm actually gonna make a little hook to hang her. That's a little too big. I'm just gonna use a little jump ring, I think. So I have a little jump ring that we're gonna attach to this little angel's neck, I think back here, just behind her head. So I'm just going to make sure that it is closed nice and tight. All right, that just looks good. I'm gonna use my hot glue for this, just a teeny tiny bit of hot glue. Now she's tiny, so I don't need much. And I'm just putting a little daub of hot glue right on the back of her neck. I'm gonna take my needle nose pliers and making sure that that piece of the jump ring that I pinched shut is the portion that I'm gonna stick down into that glue. So I'm just gonna stick it right down into there, I'm gonna hold it there for just a second until it sets. So now we made a little charm out of her, which is very cute. We'll let her dry for a minute. While she's drying, I think I'm gonna do just a single charm out of this little Mickey head. Now, to do that, I am gonna use one of these little pins, and I think this one is the right size. We'll just take another little flower base, these little tiny flower bases, and we'll put that right on the bottom of my little pin, and then we'll just take our little Mickey head, and it sits right down into that pin like that. And then for this one, again, like we did before, we're just gonna make a little loop. So I'm just bending it over on one side, and then I'm gonna just turn and make a loop at the top. So it's just like a single little charm. Very simple. It's a very simple single little charm on a little loop. And that way we can kind of put this anywhere. So I'm just pinching that shut. So there we have a little charm. So we could put that little charm like on a paper clip, something like this. So I'm just gonna push it around on a paper clip so we have a little charm on the end of a paper clip, and then we can stick that paper clip on a page of our journal and it will hang down like that if we want, or we could put it on something else, or we could add some more beads or another charm of some sort on there. So that's just another idea. All right, now that our little angel is dry, I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna make another little charm out of her. And how do I want to do this one? Let's see. I could just put her on just a little bulb safety pin. So we'll just put the little bulb safety pin on. We've got her on a little dangle like that. We could again add a couple little beads if we wanted to, just for color. Let's see, how about green? Since I've got a lot of green going on in here, we'll do a green. And how about an orange and a gold? Green, orange, and gold. And now we have another cute little charm dangle, and we'll put her on another one of our little fabric pieces that pop out. So you can make charms with things that you find in addition to the beads. The beads are really kind of just an accent to other things. You can see I can now, let's put this one, let's do this one. Let's close this up with that one. So now you can see I have a few really cute little charms dangling off the side of my journal book, which are very cute.